Greetings guys, Si here and welcome to Project Left. Today we're talking about the rule changes you need to know for 2019. Before we do that, I need to go to Bishop Stortford Golf Club because the PGA are putting on an event and going to be teaching me how to teach you all about the rules. Give me 31.9 seconds to learn the rule changes and I'll be right back to you. Let's go. Fully up to speed with what's going on with the new rule changes. So I think it's important at this stage that we understand the reasons why they're changing the rules. And I think there's three main reasons for that. First one is speed of play. Seems to be the biggest reason for most of these changes. Good or bad, you've just got to understand that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people round the golf course quicker because I believe the governing bodies think that if people can play golf quicker, they're going to enjoy it more. And in a very time-sensitive world that we live in, that can only be a good thing. The second thing I think they're really focusing on is player integrity. So giving the players the power to define the rules themselves. One of the best things about golf is that it's self-governing. We call penalties upon ourselves, and I think it's important that golf continues down that road. The third reason, and this is one that probably hasn't been discussed as much as personally I think it should have been, is that it's all about simplification. They're trying to make the rules easier, so not only beginners and juniors, but people that have been playing golf a long while can actually know they're very clear, simple, defined ways of taking drops, of getting relief, all of these things, where it used to be, well, it's this if you're on the fairway, and this if you're not on the fairway, and this if you're on the green, and this if you're through the green. Whatever through the green is, people don't understand. And again, they're trying to simplify not only the decisions, but also the definitions. So without further ado, let's get into it. 7 of my biggest rule changes that you need to know, the reasons they've been implemented, and how we're going to be moving forward with them. Like it or not, these are coming in on the 1st of January 2019, so we're going to need to know them. So the first one, and this is again one of the biggest ones that's been documented, is the rule change in dropping height. There was a big rule change in the 1960s. People used to drop over their shoulder behind their back. They then changed to shoulder height out in front of you. We're now going to be going knee height. There's been a lot of talk as to why and people's speculation on it, but I believe it's a very simple reason. They want you to drop fewer times. If you can drop and the ball doesn't roll too far left, right, backwards or forwards, then that's going to be a good thing. Originally, I think the rule was going to be that it just had to fall through the air, so you could drop it from an inch. I think they've had some compromise and decided on knee height, and I think that's a good thing generally. That moves us on to the next point, is that these relief areas, the ball is going to have to drop and stay in the area. So when you've measured your club lengths, semicircle, quarter of a circle, whatever it may be, the relief that you get from an object, when you drop the ball in there, it has to land and stay in that area. No more is this landing and rolling one club length further away from the area. It's very, very simple. The ball has to land and stop in that area. If it doesn't and rolls out of that area, you re-drop it again. If it doesn't the second time, you then place it, hit your shot and move on. Very, very simple. I like the idea of the knee-high drop. It's going to take a while to get used to, but we're going to have to learn it, so we might as well know the reason why. Okay, next one is the 3-minute rule. You used to get 5 minutes to look for a lost ball. Now you're only going to get 3. Doesn't need any more explanation than that, other than let's make sure that we actually use our 3 minutes to look for the ball, not go over it, not go under it. Use your 3 minutes, that's what it's there for. But most importantly, if you think you might have lost the ball, hit a provisional. It's much better than having to walk back to the tee, hit another shot, hold up play, hold up your playing partners, people behind you, everybody else on the golf course. If you think your ball might have gone into an area that you might have lost it, hit a provisional. It doesn't take long to hit a provisional, and it's certainly better than having to walk back to the tee. Not only for the speed of play, but also for your mental game too. Okay, the next one is quite a big rule change, and it's a bit of a flip reverse rule change. Now, embedded ball. If your ball comes to rest in the general area, so not in any penalty areas or bunkers, and the ball is embedded, you can now take relief anywhere on the golf course except bunkers and penalty areas. More on penalty areas in another video, don't worry too much about that. Basically, penalty areas is the new definition for water hazards and any area that a golf course deems that they don't want you to go looking for your ball. Simple as that. Don't worry too much more about it. They're going to be staked yellow, they're going to be staked red, and the relief is exactly the same as the old water hazard rule. They're just updating the definition on that one. Anyway, embedded ball. You used to get it on closely mown areas. So areas of the golf course cut to fairway height. unless the golf club put a local rule in saying you could drop from the rough. Now, as they've got rid of the terms fairway, rough, fringe, the golf course is now defined as a general area, so any area of play that isn't a penalty area or a bunker, you're now going to get relief unless the golf club have a local rule saying you can only have it on the fairway. So they've flipped that one round. Basically, I don't think many golf courses are going to introduce the local rule. Whenever you go out to play, you are going to be able to get a drop from a ball that is plugged or embedded in the golf course, in the grass, wherever it is on the golf course. That's not a penalty area. Plug balls in bunkers, you're still going to have to play unless you want to take a drop. Simple. Okay, so another one of the big headline rules is that you're now going to be able to putt with the flagstick in. This is obviously done for speed of play. It may be of benefit to you. Steve Johnson, fellow PGA professional, good YouTuber. If you haven't seen it, he did a really interesting video on putting with the flag in. I'll leave that linked below. Go check that one out. It's a really good video. Putting with the flagstick in is obviously for speed of play, and it may well gain you advantage. We don't know. I certainly haven't done enough testing. I will be putting with the flag in unless I'm close enough to the hole, and it's going to be one of those. Maybe if I've got a little sneaky downhiller that I want to die in the hole, then I may leave the flag in. I'm not sure yet. I do need to do some testing, and I think you should also do some testing too. Bryson DeChambeau has come out to say that if he's using metal flags, he's going to be taking the flag out. If they're using fiberglass flags, he'll probably leave it in. He's probably done a heck of a lot more testing than you or I will ever do to come up to that decision, but one of those things. The rule is changing. You can now putt with the flag in. It's not going to be a penalty. If you want to use it to your advantage, or if you think it will be an advantage, use it. If you don't, just take it out. Also, with the flagstick rule, it's important to know that the ball is only holed if any part of the ball is below the level of the surface of the hole. It's very, very important that we know this rule now that we're going to be putting with the flag in. And if the ball, any part of the ball, just a tiny sliver of the ball is below the level of the lip of the hole, the ball is deemed to be holed. It doesn't have to touch the bottom of the cup. You can pick the ball out of the hole, but if the flag is leaning and the ball isn't in the hole, you do have to get the ball into the hole. If you move the flag and then the ball falls in, replace it on the edge, tap it in, it's one shot, we just move on. It's very, very simple. If the ball is below the level of the hole, it's in. If it's not, you've still got to play another shot. It's one of those ones, it's very simple. It may be unfair, it may sometimes work to your advantage, it may sometimes work against your advantage, but that's again where the rules are trying to be as clear and as simple as possible. So, if it's below the level of the hole, it's in. If it's not, you've got to put it in. Okay, so accidentally moving the golf ball. If you're searching for a golf ball and you accidentally move it, or if you're making a practice putting stroke on the putting green and you accidentally move the ball, it will not be a penalty. Just put it back. You didn't do it deliberately, move on. You obviously have to move it back, otherwise you incur penalties, but if you do move the ball accidentally during a search, during play, just during hitting a practice swing, whatever, if you move it accidentally, just move it back. It's common sense. Let's just do it and move on, get on with it. Okay, so the next one is moving loose impediments in bunkers. And again, this is one of those ones that I always thought this should always have been a rule. The leaves in bunkers shouldn't be there. That's not part of the golf course. It's not a designed feature of the golf course to have leaves and stones and twigs in bunkers. So as long as you don't improve the condition of the sand around your ball, just move the leaves and the twigs out of the way and get on with it. They've also relaxed the rule on touching the sand in bunkers. As long as it's not around the area where your ball is, and as long as you don't take a practice swing, you can use your club to get in and out of the bunker and to lean on to bend down to pick up any of these loose impediments. You're not improving the area of your stance. You're not testing the sand around the ball. Just common sense, let's go. Okay, last rule, repairing damage on the green. And this was always one of the rules that Adam and I thought, this should have been a rule. If somebody has slipped or a spike mark is on your putting line, you should be allowed to repair it. It's one of those things that shouldn't be there. So anything that isn't routine maintenance on the golf course, you can now repair. So that means vertidraining and hollow coring, routine green maintenance isn't prohibited to be repaired. But if a greenkeeper drops a spade on the green, for example, just repair it so it's on your line, get it fixed, get it sorted and move on. So there we go guys, hope you enjoyed that video. A little quick explanation of some of the big rule changes that I think you need to know, and I think we all need to have in our memory banks and to be able to move forward with. If you want to see more in-depth information, I've linked the R&A website and the USGA website below with all the rule changes, and Adam and I are actually going to get out on the golf course and do a longer in-depth rules video very, very soon for you guys. This was just one of those things. I had to go to Bishop Stortford to learn the rules, so I thought I'd quickly document it, get it out to you guys, some of the changes that I think are important to know, and also I think for you guys that are important to know moving forward. So if this is your first time watching PGA Live 365, thank you very much for staying to the end. If you've enjoyed this video, why not consider hitting the subscribe button? It means a heck of a lot to Adam and I for every single subscription we get. We really appreciate everyone that clicks that button. It's free of charge, and hopefully it means that you'll get lots and lots of content, lots of information that you enjoy. My name's Simon. This was another episode of Project Left. My Project Left, if you don't already know, is a 3-year journey into me seeing how good I can get playing golf left-handed. I turned professional right-handed, I've switched to left-handed, I'm going through that process, and I'd love for you guys to be along for that ride. And that's it really, other than to say I hope you guys have a really good season in 2019. These rule changes make the game much simpler, much quicker, hopefully, that would be nice, and also just making sure that the game is enjoyable for as many people as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you down here on PGA Live 365 next time. And if you don't know, this is how I end my videos. See you soon.